Hello and welcome to tonight's premier event, the Miami 200 here live at Homestead. I cannot wait because today we figure out who our championship for is. I'm joined in the booth by my always trusty producer, Dave, and filling in for our buddy Zach is David Westergreen. David, so glad you could join us.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back for Homestead. Maybe a sign of things to come next year a little bit in the booth, but yeah, it's always good to be in the booth for the Elite Racing Series, and this should be a good one. I think this might be one of the more exciting and competitive, Cup Series races of the year. Homestead's always
Yes.
a fun one, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, let's bring up the championship standing as a wrap up qualifying here. We just found out that Matthew Weeks will be unable to defend his championship because of an untimely cruise.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for Matthew. Also, Ryan Gavel out this week. He's at the Snowball Derby along with Zach Evans. So hopefully they're having fun. I know it's supposed to rain up there, but that leaves 7 drivers fighting for, well, really 6 drivers fighting for 3 spots. Ethan Burrell's already locked up. Jonathan Cutlip at that 3-point gap over Ethan Stanley. Tyler Fody would be the last car in. And then you'll have Scott Crump, Chris Wright, and Chad Frankenfield all chasing him down. So that should be a really good
Going
battle.
to be a cutthroat battle right to the last lap.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just moments away from getting the drop of the green flag. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Engines are about to be virtually fired here at Homestead. David, why don't you walk us through or I'm sorry, Dave, the
We're going to be
starting
confusing
lineup.
tonight, aren't we?
Yeah. The starting lineup for tonight's race.
Yeah, Ethan Stanley's going to start from the pole. That'll help his chances to get in on points, or with that race win. Tyler Fody starting from second. A couple of non-chasers in Garrison Hogan and Braxton DeWeese filling out row 2. You'll have Jonathan Cutlip and Matthew Weeks in row 3. One of those guys is going to have an opportunity to fight for that championship like he did last year in Jonathan Cutlip, and Weeks will be kind of on the outside looking in after this one, but he's going to give it his all anyway. Trey Holmes and Scott Crump in row 4. Crump will be hunting a win probably to make up that points deficit. Chad Frankenfield and David Tooker in row 5. Chad is looking for the same thing. Ethan Burrell and Johnny Thomas round out row 6. A couple of notable names late here in the qualifying order. Chris Wright starting 17th. He's going to be looking for a race win. Also, Josh Adams coming from 16th. He'll have a fast car, I'm sure. Back here, Michael Goodman starting 25th. We'll see if old Goody can get going tonight. Tate Lytle from 32nd. He'll be fast. He'll be moving up through the field pretty quickly. And Andrew Rucker causing a little bit of chaos from 35th.
I think we're starting 37 tonight. I think Mark Murphy's the only one that's not in that list.
Mark, so 37 starters. Alex, who you picking for this race? Give me a pick for the win.
I don't a pick for the win. I don't know. anytime Ethan Stanley starts up near the top, but you can never bet wrong against Tyler Fody. They're both on the front row.
Yeah, both of those guys are going to be really fast. I'm going to go a little outside the box. I'm going to say that Ethan Burrell goes out here and takes the win and takes away that automatic qualifier from some of these other guys. I think that would be, in his best interest. Try to make, that those points gaps potentially widen and create a little bit of chaos. So that'd be my pick here.
Swept the entire round. Which has never been done in Elite Series history.
That would be a big momentum swing as he enters the championship race.
Oh.
We still good? There we are.
Okay, yeah. I believe we'll have the one to go signal here.
I believe we're going green. Coming off of 4, pace car lights are off.
Well, some guys wait a whole season for this moment to make sure they are a part of the championship 4. Green flag is out as the pace car is in. We are racing here at Homestead.
Stanley, a good jump on his teammate Tyler Fody. See if the inside or the outside line is the more dominant tonight at Homestead. You could see guys going all the way up to the wall, all the way down at the white line, and anywhere in between.
Yep, there is no out of bounds. Doesn't necessarily help your cause, though.
I don't think Cutlet already up into 4th, took away 4th place from Braxton DeWeese. He's also on the hunt, going after Tyler Fody for 3rd here on this opening lap. And Garrison Hogan's trying to get 2nd from Fody, and I think he will entering turn 1.
Yeah, side-by-side battle right there for 2nd. It looks like Garrison Hogan will take that spot, or will he?
Ooh, big hit in the wall in the back. Pink car, and that's going to be a caution. I couldn't tell who it was, although I know that car was pink. I think it was the 31 of Gerald Campbell. Maybe.
Yeah, he runs the Barbie car, and we'll take a look at the Mark Rebellis replay machine here.
Seeing eye sees all.
There's a little right front damage on that car.
He might not, he was hurrying up, he might not be happy with someone.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Green. Oh man, a lot of net code there.
Yeah, a lot of net code.
Someone must have spun behind him though, because that's probably not where the caution is.
Yeah, let's go back and look at Kynan Jones here.
Yeah, Kynan Jones is gonna, I think, just get on the brakes. Oh no, he goes down in front of Andrew Rucker.
Interesting that brought out the caution though. They're off the racetrack.
The caution is net code. There's no.
Yeah, Rucker goes back on it right there. And yeah, I mean, Kynan just making an evasive move, seeing the 31 car at the wall right in front of him, and Rucker just nowhere to go. A little bit of, light contact. Hopefully both of those cars can continue on.
All right, under caution here for the first time tonight. We'll be back with the restart in the first restart momentarily.
The race, by the way.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. iRace or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The start has been reviewed. The 40 will be issued in EOL. He was ahead of the leader, albeit very marginally throughout the restart zone. That did trigger the black flag, and that is not something that can be waived. The leader must remain ahead for the entire restart zone, and once the green flag waves in the zone. It was, and I'm going to say this, it was very close, but Fody was ahead of him very slightly for most of the restart zone.
Were the speeds consistent?
I'm sorry, Kyle?
I don't know.
I'm on this orbit back here, man.
Crump, I think you're on the bottom.
I'm sorry, Fody.
Welcome back to the Miami 200 under caution. Some top storylines, including that 22, David.
I mean, I'm going to put
Garrison Hogan came down pit road and just to, I think, take 4 tires and kind of get off cycle with the rest of the leaders. He was about the only one who came down pit road. The other guy you'll note that is missing from that front row now is Tyler Fody, who got a black flag for jumping the restart. So I think a little bit fortunate that he gets to serve that under caution. He'll just go to the back of the pack, but that does put him in the chaos spots, and that's not really where you want to be when you're fighting to get into the championship 4.
They are doubled up here. I believe that pace car gonna make that hard turn on the pit road. It does.
Chris, you want a yellow?
And our first restart now underway here at Homestead.
I did not ask.
A really good start for Ethan Stanley. Jonathan Cutlip just didn't have anything for him on that one. Stanley's going to get away by 3 or 4 car lengths here through turn 1, and it seems like Ethan Stanley likes running that bottom lane. That might be his preferred lane here.
Only had 2 laps under green before that yellow came out. I wonder if this will travel to people as far as learning about their car.
Hello.
Yeah, you know, a couple of laps get under your belt, you feel a little bit more comfortable with it on this restart. Maybe you feel like you can push it. Homestead's going to be a place that wears your tires a lot more, though, so you know these guys are kind of hunting that bottom groove to try and keep those tires fresh. And you know, for now, but the one guy on the move I'm seeing back there is Chris Wright. He's riding that top groove. Might not work out for his tires, but he is trying to gain that track position, which he lost during qualifying.
Chris Wright, one of our championship contenders at the moment, trying to get his name in, has a decent shot if things go his way here tonight.
Trouble already for Tyler Fody. That takes one of the contenders and sends him to the back. Fody will be playing catch up all night, and if he gets caught up in a wreck here, that would, you know, further put him in a hole that he can't really climb out of. So for a guy who's hunting his first Elite Cup Series championship, having won every single other championship Elite has to offer, I think except for IndyCar, Tyler Fody's, you know, not off to a good start here in this one.
Made it that much harder for him. There.
Definitely self-inflicted, you know, a self-inflicted problem for Tyler Fody, but battle is for second. Jonathan Cullip and
Braxton DeWeese there, battling hard on the outside.
They're going to be contact for 5th here. Crump and Weeks just about got together. Stayed off each other, though. That's not always a feature of the Scott Crump experience.
sound like you're talking from experience.
Oh, I've broadcasted a number of Scott Crump races, and I'll tell you what, I've always raced him clean, but I've seen him make some contact in those spots. Especially with that guy right behind him. You know, I don't think we really got to mention it, but Chad Frankenfield and Scott Crump have had incidents in this series, I believe. But here they are running side by side and clean so far.
Yeah, but this is lap 12. We'll see how it is a lap 120.
Looks like that middle lane has a little bit better run through the center of the corner, and you can kind of pin down the guy on the bottom of the racetrack. Matthew Weeks went down, cut down to the bottom, and almost, to go under Cutlip, and he almost stalled out down there, and that allowed for Cutlip to clear. Now Crump clears, Chad Frankenfield's going to go by. It seems like you got to be really, really careful when you're running the bottom to not get loose like David Tooker did right there.
David Tooker running up to third. That Pro Edge Racing Toyota machine. And Braxton Deweese has been able to fight the second.
Braxton likes a car with a little bit higher horsepower. So here comes Chad Frankenfield looking three wide. There's a car wrecked on the inside on the back straightaway here, Dave. I don't know who that was, but I did see the smoke. Caution's not going to come out for whoever that was.
We'll see if we can get a position on who that was.
Looks like it was Michael Hossack is who that's going to be. 24 car, but no, maybe not. It might have been Brandon Key. Brandon Key's on pit road. So
nothing got tagged, so
it's got to be Key. Issue for Brandon Key ends up on pit road here on lap 14. That's the third driver I think that's going to be exiting this race. That's a tough one.
Or, well, at least, if not many laps down.
We'll see as David Tooker has taken over second place from Braxton Deweese, and he is on the hunt for the lead after Ethan Stanley.
Yes, he is. The outside right here.
The other guy who's moving forward really well is Chris Wright. He's up to fifth.
Yeah, Braxton Deweese in trouble of losing a spot there to Scott Crump.
David Tooker's going to take the race lead right here. It's 19 car to the point. Got that Martin Truex style paint scheme on there, and
first lead change of the night.
Tooker to the point. Stanley settles into second, but it looks like he's not really able to get away. Seems like this 670 horsepower next gen car really doesn't allow for big leads and kind of the draft keeping people together a little bit. Rump up to fourth. Chris Wright fifth. Chris Wright's been running that top lane the whole way, all the way up, and I'm very interested to see if that car falls off a cliff here as the tires start to wear. Battle for third, Deweese under Stanley.
Yeah, side by side. Oh, almost three wide there. Scott Crump.
Got a caution. Got a caution.
The second caution flag of the night comes out.
That'll be Brent Jones. And I don't believe this is going to be on Brent Jones right here.
Had the left side of the car up against the wall.
So it's going to be Jesse Rasmus in this one, the 70, and Justin Fortner in the 26, and I believe it's the netcode monster again.
Yeah.
Not quite as egregious this time, but nowhere to go for Jesse Rasmus.
Who turned you, Brent?
That's gotta be a helpless feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure we can maybe go on board with Rasmus in the 70, but my guess is that Brent was kind of assuming Fortner was going to give him a little bit of room to come off the wall and run a middle lane there, and Fortner didn't do that, but they didn't really make contact until the netcode kind of caught them together. Brent's going to spin again. That car's rear axle is all displaced.
Oh.
The cause of the caution is netcode.
Required damage for sure.
I'm sorry.
Tough break for Brent.
Short end of the stick there, Brent.
Good looking Mobile One paint scheme here, but it's going to end up on the wrecker.
Yeah, you're fine.
Virtually, that is. But very slow of a shot to win.
All of the leaders are coming down pit road right here.
Did we get a fuel window? Do you happen to know?
I don't, but my guess is they can make it on one more stop here.
Okay.
Deweese got out in front of Tooker. Deweese is going to take the lead. Really good pit road for Braxton Deweese. Tooker, then Stanley. Looks like Chris Wright came out fourth.
Did Scott Crump stay out?
Yes, he did.
He might have. And that's
Woo!
a bit of a questionable move. Yeah.
You never want to be the last car that didn't pit, but you definitely don't want to be the only car that didn't pit.
Yeah, I mean, and getting off cycle with everybody around you is generally a decent idea, but Crump's got to be hoping for a 10 or 15 lap run and then a caution. That's the only way this works out for him. If we go green for a long time right here, he will go a lap down in 20 laps, 20 or 30 laps. Like it will not be good, I don't think, for this 90 car. It might be something he can put in the notebook for later, but I wouldn't have made this gamble if I was running for a championship. That's for sure.
Yeah, right now it's early. He can overcome it, but if we get a long green flag run, which has been known to happen, he's gonna be in a world full of hurt.
Speaking of overcoming it, Tate Lytle up to 16th after starting at 32nd. Then Garrison Hogan is 17th. Tyler Fody 18th after their early woes. So 3 guys that are moving through the field right now in a hurry. Dave's also taking you through kind of the top. I guess we're at 13 here with Seth Rawls. See if
Garrison has rebounded to 17th, and Fody up to 18th.
It's like there's no damage on that 26 car after the incident, kind of leading to the belief that was a netcode issue.
So Scott Crump did come down the pit lane a lap later.
Wow. So a potential mistake.
Oh.
For Scott Crump has decided,
it's not worth it. Yeah.
Sacrifice the track position to get on the same cycle as everybody else. Just.
And that's gonna drop him spots.
Yeah, all the way back to 32nd. It looks like so. Tough break for Scott Crump, but ultimately, he doesn't make it any worse by going ahead and pitting right there. Tyler Fody's already worked his way halfway through the field. I think Crump feels he can make that same kind of progress and be back in the top 10 by the end of the race and in contention for the win. So it makes sense to go ahead and amend what you feel like might be a mistake. But yeah, I mean, I would have been talking with my teammates right there. Those Lake Norman guys, all his 2 teammates came down pit road, and I'm not sure why Scott didn't.
I wouldn't call that a strategy call.
He said in the driver chat that his pit crew was eating ice cream. So
that'll do it. Braxton Deweese, the rookie this season, leads them down to turn number 1 on the second restart of the race.
Braxton Deweese, an Elite Series rookie, but absolutely not a rookie racer, man. This guy is really, really fast, and I'm running a league with him. We're running the 2016 cars with like 900 horsepower, and he has about 8 wins on the season. He's really, really good when it comes to that extra horsepower, and obviously this car only 670, but he's still got it out front, and 3 wide for 4th. So we'll see if he can hang on to it here.
Up front seems to be the cleanest place because everyone behind him is side by side.
Like Josh Adams has joined Chris Wright in running the top of the racetrack, and Adams has come up to 7th from 16th starting spot. Wright is up to 4th from 17th starting spot. So Those two guys who I know work together all the time, and I'm pretty sure are teammates in this league, they are, once again, I think, sharing notes and working together a little bit. But I'd be curious to see what Chris Wright's tires were on that last run. He ran the outside pretty much the whole run. He's doing it again right here. He must have something he likes for running that top groove. And, you know, typically people run the bottom at Homestead to save those tires. Chris Wright hasn't done that yet to start this race. And he's you know, parlayed it into a fourth place running spot here.
Doing well, but has he learned something others have not by traveling that high lane?
Learning right now, he's going to have to fight with Chad Frankenfield for this win. Those two guys were out on the outside looking in, so I think those two are. He knows who he's going to have to fight with. And we'll see if he can keep it up. I just don't know if that's something that can last for the whole run, is running that top groove. Typically, it burns your tires off. You have to hold the wheel a little bit sharper to keep it off the wall. And, you know, we'll see if it works out for Chris. But David Tooker's going for the race lead.
Yep, and taking a look to the inside, he got the lead that way and trying for the second lead change under green here.
See if Tooker can make it happen. It's really just slowing him up for Chris Wright and Ethan Stanley. Here comes Wright to the outside of Stanley. He might even take over that third spot down the back straightaway.
Yes. You see Tooker was able to make short work of the 13 there.
The other guy who's moving up a lot right now is Tate Lytle. He's up 4 spots since the restart, up to 12th. 56 cars on the move. Right behind him, you'll see that white and black car. That's Tyler Fody. You know, got the penalty on the start of the race. He's all the way up to 14th, so he's starting to overcome that mistake. Update progress on Scott Crump. He is 25th, so not quite as quick progress through the field as Tyler Fody. And also Garrison Hogan's right there behind Fody in 16th. Chris Wright to second.
Yes. That 42 seems to be on rails here.
There's a section, and let's see if we can keep it on Chris Wright here for a little bit. There's a section in the middle of the corner, and I'm trying to gauge whether it's a bonus for him to have this section or a detriment over the long haul. He is faster than everybody else in the dead center of the corner. Typically on that outside lane, you'll see guys faster on the end of the straightaway when that momentum is wound up. Chris Wright's going to take the lead here. Just watch him get ahead of David Tooker in the middle of the corner here.
Yeah.
Right there. That car just rotates and zips through the corner a lot faster than everybody around him. And I don't know if that's a feature of him burning his tires off, hugging the wall or what, but give the lead to Chris Wright.
My goodness. Becomes the fourth different leader tonight.
Right there, that car just bites, and I don't know if that's maybe, you know, what Dave said, right? Chris Wright had something, a little something special, and it looks like he's just found some speed up in the top of the racetrack. And you know, in theory, right, he's not turning that wheel too much. I don't think that that's burning his tires off enough, because he would have had that feedback from that first run of driving to the front of, you know, I can't run the top this run. I have to save tires. He's still doing it. He's taking the lead with it, and he's driving away from David Tooker. Tooker can't get back behind.
I'm just impressed that nobody else has decided to run up there with him.
Yeah, first car back there is going to be running the top. I think it's Jeff Green in the 38. And he's sitting in behind. I'm almost surprised Fody and Lytle aren't using it to try to get up to the front here. They're still wrapping the bottom, trying to save the tires. I just think Chris Wright might have, like Dave said, found a little something, running the top, being able to save those tires, practicing for this race, giving him that kind of advantage that no one else is able to find right now.
Certainly seems to be paying off for him right now.
Justin Wadsworth just ran the top, but he's getting passed by Tate Lytle and Tyler Fody. So, you know, it's not working for everybody. Chris Wright definitely has something on the competition right now.
David Tooker kind of committed to that bottom lane. See Chad Frankenfield right in the middle, rounding out your top 5.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm surprised Chad Frankenfield hasn't ventured up there to try to follow Chris Wright and see what he's doing. You know, Chad's got to beat Chris Wright. He can't let Chris Wright win this race. He's got to be the one to win it. So I'm a little surprised Chad hasn't, ventured up there. Ethan Stanley, Tyler Fody, those guys have like a 15, 20 point cushion. So they can kind of baby it a little bit, but the guys who need to win are Crump, Frankenfield, and Wright. And right now it's Chris Wright's, putting a class on him up at the top of the race.
Yep. Only one driver can solidly say that they are going to be racing for a championship next weekend. He's in the 9th position.
That's my race. That's my race pick. Ethan Burrell. He's been very methodical. Has not put that car anywhere it doesn't need to be. Very smooth, very calm. Now David Tooker's back to the back bumper of Chris Wright. Chris was not able to pull away from Tooker quite like I thought he would. And now I'm wondering if maybe the tires are wearing on that outside lane, and Wright's going to end up having some issues down the stretch of this longer green flag run.
Hasn't given up though yet.
He's very committed to that outside groove. We'll see if that thing's gonna work, man. I've run a lot of Homestead races. I've seen a lot of Homestead races. I do not typically see that outside lane
Pay dividends.
It usually works for about 5 laps, and then everybody filters to that first seam in the bottom of the racetrack, and it's all about who can kind of keep the tires on the car the longest. Josh Adams to 3rd, Chris Wright's teammate. The two of them really have something special right now. Those guys have just motored straight to the front in this race.
Yeah. Josh, though running 2 different lines. That 1 and 42.
Adams just passed Braxton DeWeese on the top. I think Adams has that knowledge of the top lane, but he is preferring to run that bottom groove when it suits him, and he's able to make speed down there, but he's also able to go up to the top of the track when he needs to, and David Tooker just got very loose off of turn 2.
But he's side by side for the lead entering turn 3.
He's going to fire it in. He might clear Chris Wright here. I think the tires in that 42 car might just have given up a little bit. Might have overdriven it ever so slightly, and now David Tooker's back out in front.
Tooker, who I believe has led the most laps here tonight.
So far, for sure. Although Ethan Stanley was out front for a good chunk of the first run of this race.
Yeah. If not second, but that's the 3rd time he's driven up and taken the lead.
Big battle back here for that, what is this, 12th position between Hogan, Rawls, Wadsworth. Hogan still trying to come back from pitting on that first caution. Seth Rawls started right about here in 14th. He's up to 12th, and Justin Wadsworth had been in the top 10. He's fallen back since then, and there's Dylan Thomas right there with him.
That 22, though, obviously very good. He started near the front. See Brandon Key rejoin the race action.
Tate Lytle, Tyler Fody tried to cut underneath Tate Lytle, got a run on him on turn 2. Tate threw a block on him, ran the bottom. Fody said, "Okay, I'll go around you on the outside."
That sounds like Tyler Fody's up.
40 cars come all the way back up into 10th. That's a car that I would hope gets another penalty here if I was fighting for this race win. Chris Wright's going back after the race lead.
Yep, not letting the 19 get away.
Seems like he's better off of turn 2. I think turn 4 is maybe not Chris Wright's better turn on the track. Turn 1 and 2, he's got nailed down where he gets a big run coming off of 2. This time DeWeese goes up to the top behind him, and Josh Adams is the one at the bottom of the racetrack.
Teammates battling for that 2nd spot there.
DeWeese to the bottom of the track in the 13 car. He got the good run on the back straightaway. Looks like that outside line is indeed burning the tires off of the 42. He does not have the crisp bite that he did earlier. And
yeah.
The fears are founded.
How long was that? That run about 10 laps.
Till now, I think we went green on like 13 or 14. Dave can check my math there. Right, almost bounced it off the fence.
Everybody
Car's
pitted
getting
last
tight.
on 18, so we're about 23
18.
laps in.
Yeah. And I'm guessing about 67. He'll probably want to come down pit road. Maybe a little bit after that, maybe 70. So long way to go here towards the end of the run. They're 3 wide for third.
Chad wide.
Chad Frankenfield, known to take it 3 wide. He'll always do that. Josh Adams, Chris Wright, couple of teammates, and Adams kind of giving his teammate a little bit space, but he knows that that's the car that's falling back right now. He can't just get caught up behind him. Into this battle are Matthew Weeks and Ethan Stanley, couple of championship contenders, though Weeks may be yielding his spot next week to go on a cruise.
Like we had an incident back here with Jordan Owens. This did not bring out a caution.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
Jordan Owens was running up in the top 20 and since messaged his displeasure into the driver team chat. Tooker and DeWeese have kind of broken away after all this jostling.
By about half a second or more.
How about Chad Frankenfield? You don't typically see Chad making the long run play, but we saw Chris Wright trying to fire it off on the short run, get some extra speed. It's clear Chad Frankenfield's got the better tires right now, and he pulls into third in that 15 car.
3 wide, even further back behind him.
Oh man, Chad's loose on the 2. He caught Adams.
In the wall goes the 1.
Oh, and he caught Jonathan Cutlip.
Yes.
Chad's still wrecking.
That did bring out a yellow flag. Oh my goodness.
That's
Calamity out of turn 2.
That's going to be big damage for Chad, I think.
Giving replay.
I think the 15 saves it.
He does. He definitely made some contact. The right front of that car is all bent up. Oh, he's going to get hit by Ethan Stanley there. And then I think he's going to also... No, he didn't catch Weeks. But the one he got was Jonathan Cutlip. And I think Cutlip's car is okay.
Yeah, the 5 and the 1 is what I saw in trouble right there.
Josh Adams has a lot of damage. He's going to go back, hook it into the outside wall. That's where he's going to get all the damage. He's going to come down and get Chris Wright, then take Jonathan Cutlip out right there. I think Cutlip's going to be able to save it. So that championship potential is still there. So it looks like Josh Adams and maybe Chad are the only 2 that are legitimately in trouble after this incident.
And you need to have a flawless day in order to make it into the championship 4. We have not seen that with some of our contenders here tonight.
Just off the top of my head, Tyler Fody with the penalty, Scott Crump with the mistake to pit, and then Cutlip, Frankenfield, Wright, all involved in that incident, and Stanley. I mean, that's all of the contenders for the championship right there. Everybody's had an issue so far.
Well, I guess in order to remedy that stat, everybody just gets involved. Yeah.
That kind of cycles everything out, and now it's Matthew Weeks, Ethan Stanley, Tyler Fody, and Chris Wright as the top championship contenders in this race. They're all behind Braxton DeWeese, who has been extremely good on pit road. He has gained at least 1 spot every single time down pit road so far.
I think we are still outside of the fuel window, so 1 more pit stop will still have to be had.
The cause of the caution is dueling.
For sure. They are not going to be able to get to the end of the race on this tank of fuel, but you've seen the kind of advantage the fresh tires are. So.
And none of the guys I hit spun out either, so I will be doing that. Go ahead.
Tyler Fody back up to 5th. He has made a really good recovery drive through the field. Let's see if Chris Wright decides not to run the top here, because 20 laps is about the time frame for Wright's tires to fall off a cliff and running that top groove. And I know Homestead, that's kind of how it's always been on iRacing. You get a lot of speed up at that top groove, but you can't make it work up there forever. Eventually you have to drop to the bottom of the track and ride. And
Tally is on the 1.
Gottlieb's going to remain 10th, so that's awfully good fortune for him. He goes dead sideways on the back straightaway and
keep it. I'll feel it like you
finds a way to keep her going.
Just keep it.
It looks like Chad Frankenfield's going to be back in 28th. He will have fixed that damage, I'm sure, but there's probably not going to be any other issues.
We saw you wreck. It's okay.
Oh wow, the one got a tally, not the 15.
Saw what happened.
Yeah, he took responsibility for it in the driver chat, so they gave it to him.
I will say this. Chad wins the award for the second longest crash I've ever seen after Mauricio.
Johnny Thomas. Always good to get Johnny up on the screen.
Yeah,
Get him some TV time.
I was saving tires the whole time, and I was just trying to get away.
All right, we're doubling up here. Working lap 49 or 48-49 when we go green.
No, you're fine. I missed.
You know who's made a really good recovery drive on top of being involved in one of the incidents today, not one of our championship contenders, but Jesse Rasmus is back up to 17th after getting a big piece of Brent Jones in that first wreck. Definitely a strong recovery drive for him, and he's followed Scott Crump up through the field. Crump's up to 15th. So Rasmus being able to bring it back in that 70 Toyota, that's a good run.
Yeah, totally good. Better than like I saw you come up, and that was just enough to make me jolt the wheels.
Just can I say I love iRacing? I mean, this look is so cool.
It would have worked.
Being able to throw up a Homestead race in the middle of November and get summer temperatures, you can't beat it. It's about 25 degrees outside of my house, snow's on the ground, and we're out here in Florida.
Where do you live there, David?
Illinois.
Oh, I am sorry.
I'm not. Green flag's back out. Braxton DeWeese with another really good jump. He's been able to fire off really well, but his short run speed just isn't quite the same as especially guys like Chris Wright.
My apologies.
There's Dega.
There's a big swarm of cars there jostling for position in the mid pack. Looks like everybody got away with it clean. Ethan Stanley up to the top of the racetrack now. Let's see if 92 car starts running that short run speed lane there in the outside. You know who's back to the outside once again is F42 Raising Cane's car. That's Chris Wright. He is committed to running the top.
My apologies there. Just had to settle my dog down.
Being a good boy. It's all good.
Yes. All right. Well, that 42 hasn't given up that Dell Jr. line yet.
Tyler Fody to the bottom of his teammate Ethan Stanley. Those guys are 1 point separated in those standings. Fody's going to clear Ethan Stanley and move into fourth. And what a recovery for him. He was dead last on lap 4 of this one. He's driven it all the way back up to fourth with the help of what, 2 cautions maybe? There is some damage to the left side of Ethan Stanley's car, right in the door where he made contact with, I think it was Chad Frankenfield. I don't know if it's hurting the car any, but he did just get passed by his teammate, so it might be hurting him a little bit, but
Braxton DeWeese currently our leader. I know YouTube land just loves him.
Absolutely. He's got a bunch of fans, does Braxton DeWeese. They always show out for his races.
David Tooker, though, probably enemy number 1 on that list.
He's been really fast, has David Tooker. It's been rather impressive that he's been able to keep it up here and not battling for a championship. He and Braxton DeWeese are really the two that are running for more than these two up front, right? Or they're really just running for the race win. They're not going for it.
They're the outliers. The next 6 behind them all have something to prove.
I'll tell you that Chris Wright's got some right front damage, and that is murdering his run in the center of the corner. Right up top, he can maintain, but I guarantee you, he's turning the wheel a lot more than he had to before, and that right front damage is really hurting his run through the center of the corner. He is going to get to the outside of Tyler Fody here. You know, that's just due to that outside lane being really good on fresh tires, but Wright's car just doesn't seem to have that same bite that it did when it was completely clean. You can see it there. He really just doesn't gain on Tyler Fody down the straightaway. He's still side by side.
They are currently he's still fighting inside the top 5.
He is, but I don't know how long that'll last. Really, you know, that car. I think the tires might burn off even faster with that damage on there. And look who's right behind Tyler Fody entering this picture. He's, you know, we haven't talked about him a whole lot, and I've mentioned him maybe once or twice, but Ethan Burrell's kept the wheel clean.
Yep.
He hadn't made those mistakes like all his competitors.
Working his way into the top 5, and he's the only one breathing with a sigh of relief. Wadsworth right there.
Trying to get under Scott Crump, but got a little bit loose. Crump up to 13th, making a good recovery from deciding to pit, or to not pit when everyone else decided to pit. Weeks just cut up in front of Tyler Fody. Almost got himself turned. Fody cut him a break.
Yeah. This will be Weeks' last race of the season here, because he won't be here. He'll be on a cruise. I can think of
oh, he's going to get into Tyler Fody right there. Contact between the 11 and the 40. Looks like Fody's going to get ahead of him there, and a little close racing between a couple of guys running for the championship here.
Wonder if the 11 or the 40 will remember that later on.
Down to the inside, I think that was Dylan Thomas hunting 9th. Chris Wright is trying to get up here to the lead using that top groove. As we've seen, that's the better groove on the short run, but it really does not last for too long. It looks like Chris Wright's been able to minimize the damage on that right front and keep that short run speed. I do question whether if we actually do get a long green flag run, he'll be able to make that work.
Yeah,
exactly.
Who knows? So that damage could be at a critical area that helps him.
Right front damage typically makes you tighter, and if you're tight up top, you gotta turn the wheel more. And if you turn the wheel more, you use the tires more.
Okay.
I just anticipate that not working. But you know, he's been able to drive it up to second.
I hear what you're saying, but he's up to second.
He's definitely not saving tires, that's for sure. He's
Yeah.
Chris Wright. He's chosen the path of short run pace, long run potential loss. One guy I'm seeing who's broken into the top 20 after the incident last time through is Chad Frankenfield. He's going after 18th.
See the 37 has crept into 5th place.
Well, he's going after Tyler Fody too. Jeff Green just disconnected. I'm wondering if there was an incident down the back straightaway there. Looks like he's got some pretty heavy left side damage, so
maybe we can back it up to Jeff Green.
Checking. Oh, he hit the outside wall, came down and hit the inside wall.
He is gone. I cannot go back to him.
Okay.
Yep. So Jeff Green retired from the event.
I believe that leaves only 31 cars in the field.
Pretty big attrition rate here. It's been easy to get that car a little bit loose on the corner exit. Some of these guys are having trouble keeping that thing straight, especially coming off the top of the racetrack. Chris Wright is starting to fall back. You know, he did not get up. He got a lead of almost a second on that first stint. Now he's kind of paying the price early, about the same time period into this run. He did not get up to the lead this time, right? He only got up to second. So that damage definitely affecting that 42 car. Maybe late in the race, if he gets a short run, he could maybe make some moves up there, but I do feel like Chris Wright's chance to win this one is going out the window. It's tough. He's made it work with a different altering strategy, and that's what I like to see. It's something different, trying something unique. Everyone else kind of running single file on the bottom, and Wright's made something else work.
Yep. Makes us have to think about the race differently as well.
Gosh, Clark, Chad Frankenfield battle, that's still going on back in 18th spot, and Clark's now taken to the driver chat to try and calm Chad down a little bit. He's just running his lane, and I think Chad's bumping into him on the straightaways a little bit, saying, "Get out of my way, I'm running for a championship." Chad's got to be aggressive, but there's right front damage on that 15 car, and he's definitely not quite the same level of handling as it used to be. And not to mention dirty air, track position loss.
I don't see the 28 doing anything seriously erratic.
No. Tyler Fode's taken over third from David Tooker using Chris Wright's outside lane, and now he's cut to the inside of the 42 car. So Fode took a page from the Chris Wright book of short run speed and is now back to his patented first seam long run line. He's going to use it to run second. See if he can go out there and get Braxton Deweese. Deweese has held the lead since the last restart. No one has contested.
I have to wonder, is David Tooker happy with that? Or is he gone on the offense here?
Tooker's back to fourth. Fode up to second. That 40 car's starting to make a move, and you can see, right? If you watch Tyler Fode race, he'll put her right on that first seam at Homestead every time, no matter the car, no matter the track. He runs that first seam. And he always seems to run in the top 5 or even win these races.
I think we're halfway in Braxton Deweese. I don't know, or it might be this lap here.
It is this lap is halfway. Ethan Burrell trying to take fourth from Chris Wright. Battle for the lead heating up. Tyler Fode's coming after Braxton Deweese.
Yeah, Deweese on the bottom though. This could be important for a point. Oh, Tyler Fode on the outside. I believe he got him.
Yep. Use the outside to pin him down. That's exactly how he's shown to make his passes. That's how he passed Tooker. That's how he's passed Braxton Deweese for the lead. And Tyler Fode has officially overcome the lap 1 penalty.
From worst to first. It only took him halfway to get there.
Yep.
Tyler's ready for his next EOL.
I don't know who the Tyler guy is.
AI.
David Tooker still fighting in third there.
He is, and still fighting for the lead is Braxton Deweese, and fighting for third is Tooker and Ethan Burrell. Chris Wright has backslid to 6th. The right front damage, coupled with him running the top lane, definitely not doing his tires any favors. Cutlip's recovered to 7th. He's been pretty quiet on this run, but that's probably a good thing for Jonathan Cutlip. Got almost half spun, minding his own business in the last run. Now he'll take 6th from Chris Wright. Meanwhile, Deweese got past.
Taking a look to the inside here.
See, Fode just runs that groove off the bottom, and it gives him almost half the benefit of what Chris Wright's getting up way at the top of the track without the tire burn. And I think that's kind of the thing that makes Fode's line a little bit more sustainable, is that he can run, the bottom, get that tire saving, run that the lower banked part of the track, but he can do it while getting a little momentum from the middle of the track. That's what's bringing this 40 car to the front, is the line that he is running. And he's running it really well. He always seems to. Oh, Chris Wright sideways in front of Stanley. He's going to try to back him up.
Oh, he saves it. They all do.
Ethan
That
Stanley.
was really scary out of turn 2 or 4, excuse me.
Stanley could have very well have just ended Chris Wright's championship hopes right there by bumping into him. He cut him a break, got out of the gas, lost the spot to Tate Lytle, but both of them are still running clean. That's a really classy move from Ethan Stanley to ensure that Chris Wright lives to fight another day in this one. Down for the lead again, but Fode's got that preferred top groove. Matthew Weeks has entered the fray with probably the fastest lap times on the track. Certainly a tenth or two faster than the two guys in front of him. So now Weeks will fight against DeWeese, and that'll leave Tyler Fode to run some clean laps by himself. Oh, stop spinner off a 2. It's Jesse Rasmus. I think he's going to save it.
Yeah, he does.
No, he's still not saved it. Back out of it, Jesse.
Trying to.
'70 car had driven all the way back up to 16th after getting involved in an earlier wreck, and
don't do the Kyle Larson here.
He looks like he's going to go ahead and make his pit stop. That'll effectively end his hopes for a top 20 finish, but maybe he'll be able to run, catch a caution at the perfect time, and run to the end here. Yeah. Everybody will have to pit one more time, and maybe it'll cycle out perfectly to get Jesse Rasmus back on the lead lap.
13 now. Matthew Weeks battling hard in that third position just because he cannot defend that championship does not mean he's not making his presence known.
Racers race, man. If Weeks might not be able to win the big picture race, but there's still a race he can win tonight. That 11 car's been really sporty, and Weeks is usually good at these mile-and-a-half tracks. Another noteworthy name you're about to, I believe, see on your screen is that of Scott Crump. Has arrived back into the top 10 after his long battle back from the pit road mistake early in this one.
Time is, though, beginning to become of the essence. Can't afford to make that mistake twice unless you're Tyler Fode, who has proven. Oh, who was that?
Is it Stanley?
Stanley? It was, yeah.
These guys are starting to lose the rear tires on these cars. Ethan Stanley gets loose coming off of turn 2, just all by himself there, coming out of the middle groove. I was going to say the guy who needs to come down pit road is Chris Wright. He's backslid all the way to 16th. The right front tire completely gone on that 42 car because of that damage. He needs to come get fresh tires and see if he can't catch a caution, to get his track position back. But at this point, that's about his only chance. And Tyler Fode's gotten the biggest lead we've seen from anyone so far today at 0.6 of a second.
Yeah. It's starting to show out, though. Ethan Barrow, your pick there, David, is up to third. Ethan trying to do something that's never been done in an elite series competition, and that is sweep an entire round. That's only been done, I believe, once in real life by Joey Logano back in 2015.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if it happened since that, but it definitely happened in 15 with Logano.
Yeah.
But Burrell getting passed by Jonathan Cutlip right as we start talking about him. The two guys I want to point out here, as they've both gone around David Tooker in the last couple of laps, are Garrison Hogan, who pitted on lap 1, and then Tate Lytle, who started 32nd. Both of those guys up here into the top 10. They've run very quiet, clean races. They've been very committed to saving tire, I believe, and that's allowing them to kind of move through the field a little bit. Josh Clark just got a loose off of turn 2. That epidemic continuing to put drivers by the wayside here. And there's Josh Adams. He's caught up to his teammate. Both of them were in the top 5 not too long ago, and now they're both outside the top 15.
Yeah, that 42 is in a world full of hurt there.
It's just not working as Trey Holmes, Seth Rawls battling for that top 10 spot.
Trey, who started inside the top 10, has had a quiet but pretty nice drive here tonight.
Pretty typical Trey Holmes race, right? You don't think about him, and then he's in the top 5 on 5 laps to go, and you're like, oh, where'd he come from? Matthew Weeks is eating into the lead built by Tyler Fody, ever so slightly. He's running slightly faster lap times, just around a 10th, and here comes Chris Wright down pit road.
Here comes Chris Wright. We'll see if pit strategy pays off.
Yeah, this is a desperation pit strategy. Pretty much a Hail Mary at this point. Wright will have fresher tires, a faster car than everybody else for a little bit, but he'll be a couple of laps down. He'll need this to cycle out, and then he'll need a caution to come out at the perfect time for it to work out, where he can kind of get the lead and keep the lead, and then maybe the race boils down to short run speed, in which case Chris Wright might have the fastest car. But if you sell everybody to run short runs with short run pace, those guys can all run the top as well. Oh, another one off.
Who was that?
Was it Dylan Thomas? No.
Or was it Easton Stanley again?
It was Trey Holmes.
Oh.
Another victim of the turn 2 tire snake out there that's taking guys out. That transition onto the flat, if you've got the wheel cranked a little bit with the tires heated up, that car just steps out from under you. We've seen a lot of guys lose it right there.
So far, they've all done it by themselves. They haven't taken out another competitor, which is good news.
Next time you see someone side by side, though, that's definitely going to be a risk.
Yeah.
Hogan up to 4th now. Hatch on pit road.
Casey Hatch, and is that Gerald Campbell in front of him?
A couple of guys running at the back with damage from very early incidents. Don't think that that they're going to need the same caution Jesse Rasmus is going to need. Oh, man, was that car in the wall? Is DeWeese in the wall? Down the back. He's still in the fence.
Yes. He's lost a ton of spots now, back in the 8th spot.
Yeah, we saw DeWeese leading early in this one. I think he might have just overcooked his tires just a little bit.
Can we go further back?
Yeah, it was all the way off of 2. He slapped it a little bit more, right? Right, because that's what's going to allow Tooker to get by. He's since lost. He's lost 9th or 8th to Scott Crump since. So there it is.
Oh yeah. Right out of turn 2, and I guess now though, if you can make it, would be the time to start backtracking on strategy. Is it not?
It's about that time to think about when your next pit stop's going to be, but you want to probably go as long as you can here.
Okay.
With all the people cutting it left coming off of 2, there's going to be someone who cuts it back to the right.
Okay.
So I'm holding out until my tank's about dry, but somebody in this front group is going to start where the others are going to have to follow, and so we'll see who the first one is to kind of lead them down pit road. I don't think any of them are worried about Wright or Rasmus or Gerald Campbell or Hatch or any of those guys. So these guys are waiting for their competitors around them to go down pit road, and then they'll react. Fastest lap time among the top 5 was
currently
Cutlip.
Oh, so all right there.
It's very, very close. They're all running just about the same lap time. Really spread out at the front of the field. Chad Frankenfield has moved back up to 14th after his incident earlier in this one. 14th's not going to be enough. He's going to need even more than that. He's going to have to probably pull off some pit strategy. He might even want to try short pitting and gaining that track position temporarily, even if you lose out in the long run. Battling with Dylan Thomas here in that 30 car. Ethan Burrell starting to backslide. He's back up to 6th.
Yeah,
Tooker's kind of coming
the top 5.
Tooker had been battling for the lead earlier on in this one. Has since fallen to 7th, but still with a good run. Top 4 have kind of broken away from Tate Lytle. There's about a 1.5-second gap from Garrison Hogan back to Lytle. So, the front 4 have kind of distanced themselves and kind of make it just a race between them. So here comes championship leader Ethan Burrell. He's going to give it a shot. Be the first one down pit road.
First one down pit road.
And he has nothing to lose.
Our leader, yeah.
At all. So Ethan Burrell leading them down, that absolutely makes sense. See if he can drag some of these competitors around him down pit road. And he doesn't need to make any mistakes. He doesn't really even need to be aggressive. He just needs to get a clean pit stop here and not make anything worse. And maybe he'll have a chance to get up here and battle for this race win.
Yep.
No one up front is going to follow him on this lap.
Do you, as a competitor, kind of look at his lap times?
You know now that you're going to catch him. As here comes Wadsworth. He's been in the back end of the top 10 a couple of times today. You're going to catch him, but you know he's not your race, right? You've got to keep your strategy down. I think Fode's going to try to run the tank dry. It's his usual strategy. Is Josh Adams is now about to go a lap down here with all that front end damage.
Had a good car today. Who was that? The 25 of Seth Rawls is in.
Rawls in. So a bunch of guys in that mid-teens group and Ethan Burrell have all come down pit road. It's worth noting Burrell's already in front of Chris Wright, so it's not going to work for Chris Wright today, unfortunately. And he made a valiant effort running that top groove, but once he got that damage, it seems like that car has just gone away from him. Braxton DeWeese got really loose coming off a 4 there, and I almost had to say something, but he corralled it. You see the gap back there. He was going after Scott Crump. Oh man, Reb Hylas just hit the wall from behind Tate Lytle.
Look at the 99 here.
Scratch tires going around the 5th place car, and you'll note if you kind of peer further back into the distance, you'll see a red car and a white car, and that'll be Ethan Burrell and Chris Wright, and maybe also Jesse Rasmus. All of those guys are kind of hunting through this section of the group here as Burrell's going to go after Braxton DeWeese, and he'll have accumulated a fairly sizable lead by the time this pit stop cycles through.
But the tires might be shot on that.
Yeah, and Burrell's going to have to play defense. Here comes Tate Lytle. Here comes DeWeese. So now I think is when the leaders are going to start considering when to pit here. And Tyler Fode can just react to the guys behind him. He'll just come in the lap after Weeks and Cutlip come down pit road, and that should leave him in a pretty good spot.
Go from first to, or worst to first.
Second to worst to first, I think will be the move for Fode. The front 4 do stay out one more lap. We're starting to get down to it. Only 40 laps to go here. So 38 laps to go.
Definitely can make it.
Dylan Thomas, Andrew Rucker down pit road.
As we near the centennial mark of the race, Josh Adams is in. We already documented his woes. David Tooker,
oh boy, that looked real fast.
Woo!
Tooker might have been caught nabs for speed in there. Trey Holmes also down pit road. Front 4 still out, still just a 1.5 seconds between all of them. It's been about that way for the last 30 laps or so since Tyler Fode took the lead. It's just been a little gap from him to Weeks to Cutlip to Hogan. See Ethan Burrell entering the picture, trying to get back on the lead lap, just in case a caution comes out. A couple of guys entering the top 10 for the first time today due to pit strategy.
Yes.
Johnny Thomas, Wyatt Nadel.
I believe if the 37 can get his lap back without use of a wave around, he would get to inherit his track position.
Yeah, he'll take the lead of once these guys all pit. The issue for Ethan Burrell will be that those guys are all going to be having fresh tires, turning much faster laps, and they'll probably eat him up. It's a worth a shot, though. You know, he didn't have anything to lose.
Yep. He's already safely in next week.
Yep. So, you know, is Tyler Fode trying to lock that down as well. We'll see if he comes down pit road. Yeah, no, he's still going to stay out there, and these guys might be just trying to get to lap 100 as well. Is Ethan Stanley coming down now?
100 is on the board.
Scott Crump learned his lesson. Do not pit. Under no circumstances. Oh, wait, no, that's what he did the first time. Never mind. Stanley led early in this one, but unfortunately has kind of fallen from the lead. Got a little bit of left side damage in the Chad Frankenfield incident. Just unfortunate for Ethan Stanley, who hopes to get in here on the championship hunt, but oh man, Weeks is out of control on the front straightaway.
Uh-oh.
Might have stayed out just a lap too long. The right front corner of that car is pretty heavily damaged. Was Weeks trying to get to pit road? Oh no.
No, the 70 may have hooked him, but
It's Rebilus. I don't think it had anything to do with it. He just got loose and bang right there into the outside wall.
See,
Tough.
everybody have to make evasive action right there. Or
Cutlip and Hogan are undeterred. So is Weeks, interestingly enough. Scott Crump still out there as well.
Still staying true to his running position. Run it dry.
Yeah, that's his typical strategy. Want to know Johnny Thomas got around Chad Frankenfield for 6th, and those guys still out there as well. Justin Vandermarl now into the top 10. They're staying out a long time. Fode's coming in. Cutlip, Hogan stay out. Fode's coming in. Weeks gonna follow Fode down pit road.
Lap leader of Tyler Fode is in.
Checking back, it looks like David Tooker did indeed get to pit road speed back there. He's in 16th, so
did the Kyle Larson.
almost. That now cycles the lead up to Jonathan Cutlip. His first lap led today, and I'm willing to bet he's coming down pit road this time. Sure is. Hogan's going to follow him down. Hogan got a much better pit road entry than Jonathan Cutlip did, but I think both are going to be on pit road speed.
Yes.
Are those teammates? Are those both fueled up?
Yes, they are.
Are they? Yeah.
Dave might
yes.
know. That's it. Yeah, they
That's
sure are.
what it says. Yeah.
So those guys in a chat together, I'm sure. Probably waited for Tyler Fode to finally make that move to pit road. That turn. Gonna stay out. Looks like he's gonna really try to bleed it dry. Tyler Fode's gonna have a long way to go to get back up to the front in this one. He's gonna have a lot of cars to pass, and so are these two. They're probably gonna be able to do it, but it's gonna be pretty dangerous. You're just gonna have to make a lot of bold moves with just 30 laps to go. And he's going around Chris Wright. He's going around Braxton DeWeese. Those were kind of the first guys to hit pit road. I just, you got to be careful, and all these guys up in front of you are fighting for championships and a race win just like you are, so.
Yeah. Don't want to be the one person that takes them out.
We haven't mentioned him all day. He's in the top 10, so why not? Rory Collins in the 62 car has done a pretty good job today. Haven't called his name, but guess what? Got some time in the top 10, get some time on TV.
Call me.
him, and here he comes down pit road.
Oh, just a little wide there.
He made it. All good. Scott Crump
Yeah.
continues to lead over Johnny Thomas and Chad Frankenfield. Josh Clark will be third, fourth. Wyatt Nadel will be fifth, and Vandermarl sixth. And the first car on tires will be Ethan Burrell in seventh.
Yep.
Kyle Hanshaw's up in eighth. We haven't talked about him all day, but Hanshaw doing a pretty typical Hanshaw type of race, hold a pretty wheel. And stretch the fuel, see what happens. Him and his teammate Johnny Thomas staying out. That does not surprise me.
This is by far the longest green flag run of the night.
So if I'm ordering it correctly, once everybody in the front pits, Ethan Burrell would be the race leader. Tate Lytle will be second. David Tooker would be third. Tyler Fode would be fourth. Rawls would be fifth, but he'll be falling back before I think Hogan and Cutlip get there. So then it'd be Cutlip and Hogan. So the guys Fode is going to need to pass. He's going to need to make up 6 seconds on Ethan Burrell over the next 20 or so laps.
Which is absolutely doable.
It is.
Considering the tire difference.
And Tyler Fode's running about the same lap time as Ethan Burrell right now is the thing. Because Burrell's in clean track, Fode's running in traffic. So Fode needs more laps where he's much faster than Ethan Burrell as he cuts to the inside around Kyle Hanshaw. Right there, 33.4. Ethan Burrell ran at 33.6, right? That's not going to get it done.
Yeah. Well, you have to wonder, was the 37 hard on his tires, or knowing that he would have to save them for later on?
I mean, I know Ethan Burrell. He certainly wasn't hard on those tires. He's got a good set. The question is now how much is Fode going to have to push to get that big difference in lap time? This time a 33.5. Burrell ran a 33.5. Right, they're running the same lap times.
All right, 25 to go. The lap counter has ticked down. I don't know if you know this tradition there, David, but we like to pick out who we think is going to win.
I'm sticking with my guns. I made my pick at the beginning of the race, and it'll change. And he's first car on fresh tires. His biggest competitor right now is Tate Lytle, but I'm going with Ethan Burrell to sweep this round.
Trying to make history there.
Tyler Fode did bite into the lead a little bit that time but not by very much. Right now, Tate Lytle, the fastest car, that Ethan Burrell is going to have to deal with. David Tooker, also a little bit faster than Ethan Burrell, so Ethan very clearly keeping a specific pace. Tooker and Lytle pushing a little bit. I think Fode probably is also keeping a pace where he wants to kind of run, but that time he was a little bit faster, but still not going to be fast enough to run down Ethan Burrell with the amount of laps left we have remaining. Who's your pick, Alex? Are you switching off of... I think you were Ethan, Stanley, and Fode.
Who did I say?
You just chose the front row.
Here, Jonathan.
I think Tyler Fode wins this.
Gonna have to make up 7 seconds without making any time up on Ethan Burrell right now. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Crump's still out there. Thomas, Frankenfield still out there. I wonder if Crump's gonna try to make it on fuel. He's backed off.
Yeah.
He's backed off significantly to the point that Johnny Thomas, who was about 5 or 6 seconds behind him, has caught him. Ethan Burrell's 11 seconds back. Chad's on pit road now. He was looking for a caution.
46 fitting.
21 laps. I don't think Crump can get there.
As well as, are we done seeing the yellow flag?
I would hope so. I think this is a good race. Has all the makings of one of them classic Homestead finishes.
Yeah.
Let's not ruin it with some sloppy driving. Let's see who can save their tires the best. See if Ethan Burrell can pull off a really electric strategy call.
That would be cool to see history being made here tonight.
Johnny Thomas down pit road, Josh Clark down pit road. That opens it up for Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, and David Tucker to be chasing down Scott Crump. And when Crump finally hits pit road, the three of them will, be the 3 race leaders, the podium drivers, and it'll be up to Tyler Fody to try to break into that Pro Edge podium.
Say hi.
Just 20 laps, now 19 laps to go here, and 19 laps until we find out who's in that championship four.
Tyler Fody just picked up 0.4 of a second that lap on Ethan Burrell. Picked up 0.4 again this lap. Starting to eat into that lead a little bit. In fact, Tate Lytle's starting to get really close to Ethan Burrell as well. So Ethan's going to have to pull a little more tire out if he's going to actually come back in this one.
Here comes Scott Crump. Does he go with a 4-tire pit stop, or is it a splash and go?
He's going to take 4 tires. I think Scott Crump was playing the caution game. He needs a race win. Tried everything he could, but the caution did not fall for him. Now it'll be Ethan Burrell adopting the race lead, and you see the gap number to Tyler Fody. That's the one I think you got to keep your eye on. As that thing ticks down, that's where the biggest challenge is going to come, right? Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, David Tucker. Lytle and Tucker have much older tires than Tyler Fody. So that number right there next to Fody's name, that's the one you're going to want to keep your eye on. Cutlip is also gaining, and so is Garrison Hogan. I'm trying to think on the map. I think Fody and Stanley, if the race were to finish just like this, I think Fody and Stanley would be good, because they were 1 point up. And I think Cutlip would be good. He's in the top 10. So the 3 of them, I think, would be in, presuming Weeks is indeed out, and Weeks is in 9th. So if Weeks isn't out, Stanley's out. If Weeks is out, Stanley's in. Crump, Wright, and Frankenfield were not able to make it happen. And now we're just waiting to see, I think, what the result is here.
I think you're absolutely right if it does finish that way.
Scott Crump's outside the top 10 now. Outside the top 20 now. I mean, Frankenfield's 18th, Wright's back in 15th. It just didn't work out for those guys. They needed a caution when the leaders were running long, and they didn't get one.
Thanks, Mark.
Gap's down to 0.6 seconds from Burrell to Tate Lytle. Tate last lap ran a 33.7. Burrell ran a 33.9.
4 seconds, I thought you said.
Yep. Yeah, no, Tyler Fody's all 0.6 back to Tate Lytle. Fody has cut that lead a second and a half in the last, 3 or 4 laps while we were talking about the points gap there. So 40 car is coming, but he's got limited time to get there, only 15 to go.
Think of the championships. Tate Lytle, I believe one of his championship races was won here.
I think it was. Because Tate's got 2 championships, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I think they were back to back. You can see the gap really closing. Fody's getting close to Tucker. He's right on the back bumper of the 19 car now. So Fody's on the back bumper of Tucker. Lytle's on the back bumper of Burrell. A couple of battles about to happen inside the top 10. Inside the top 5.
And this is Pro Edge Racing right now has a 1, 2, 3 running order.
They do for about the next half a straightaway. Tyler Fody's about to take 3rd from David Tucker. Tucker's going to battle him down into the corner, but Fody's just got the better tires right now.
Yeah.
And, I've been keeping... Oh, Burrell sideways coming off a 4. They're going to get in a battle for the lead before I can explain what Fody's doing. Tate Lytle's going to take this lead down into turn 1.
Oh yeah, Tate Lytle, there he goes to the inside.
From
trying
30
to win a race.
From 32nd to the lead with 12 laps to go, but you've got to hold off a guy trying to lock himself into the final 4 and win his first elite championship in Tyler Fody. It's going to be an it's going to be an interesting battle down to the end. Lytle's had a good car all race, but he's really held it in check. He hasn't really pushed it all that much. Tyler Fode on this run, for what it's worth, has run 33.5 every lap. Until that last one, he ran 33.6 because he was getting passed by Josh Clark, who's got fresh tires. Fode's kept a very specific pace, and I think it's gonna work out for him. But if I was Fode, you gotta push a little bit, right? Like you can't just let this one kind of sneak away from you.
Well, I think he's safe no matter what if he finishes in the second position here. But yeah, it's go time. 10 to go.
Jonathan Cullip has definitely shown up for go time as he's going after David Tucker now in the back straightaway. And I believe he's already got him. Garrison Hogan's the one now going after Tucker. Tucker. One of those.
Tucker,
here comes Hogan.
Trying to hoping for a caution flag or for this race to indeed end without him losing any more spots.
Lip's pretty safe for now. There's Matthew Weeks and Ethan Stanley. Weeks goes by Seth Rawls for 8th. Stanley's back a couple of seconds from there. In 10th. Fode picked up, went back to 33.5, picked up half a second on Ethan Burrell that lap. Picked up 4/10 on Tate Lytle, so
I'm telling you, my boy, that 40 car, he's gonna be there.
33.6 that lap, still much faster than either of the two Pro Edge cars in front of him.
Catching is one thing.
Oh!
Yellow is out.
That'll change everything, and that's not what Tyler Fode wanted to see. Gerald Campbell is the one who goes around on the back straightaway and takes away what was about to be a pretty fantastic finish. And it's Scott Crump who gets into Gerald Campbell. A little bit of a fresh tire versus old tire incident there, I think. And it took a while for that to happen. And it looks like Gerald was going to be all right. I think he hooks it back to the right here, but maybe iRacing didn't like that he was spinning on the racetrack, and caution came out right there since it was in front of the leaders. Man, that was going to be a pretty electric finish because Cutlip was right behind Fode.
This, I believe, will put us in green-white checker territory.
I mean, Tate Lytle's in a kind of a terrible spot. If he pits, everyone stays out. If he stays out, everyone pits. Ethan Burrell almost certainly has to pit. Tires are pretty used up on that 37 car. Fode might be able to stay out no matter what here.
Oh, Tate Lytle. Ethan Burrell stayed out.
Nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, why not?
Nothing to lose for Ethan Burrell. If Fode might take 2 tires, maybe. I don't. You got to do something to ensure you have a pretty big jump here. But
yeah.
Why didn't Chris Wright stay out?
Looks like Lytle will take 4 tires here.
Why didn't Wright stay out? Why didn't Chad Frankenfield stay out? Scott Crump stayed out. Johnny Thomas stayed out. Ethan Stanley didn't take 2 tires. Trey Holmes took 2 tires. There you go. Chad took 2 tires. Yeah. Why didn't Chad stay out? Why didn't Chris Wright stay out? I know the tires are old. You got to go for it, man. You're running for a championship. Might get lucky.
I'm impressed for this 37 car.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work out for my pick there, Ethan Burrell, but this is the right move. You just go for it. He has nothing to lose. He has everything to gain from demoralizing the group of guys he's running against just by saying, hey, I got lucky. The caution came out. I cooled my tires, and that was enough to hold you guys off in the chaos that ensued behind me.
Yeah.
Guys got to get better at.
And we know it's going to be chaotic, right? Johnny Thomas is going to be up here running for a chance to win.
What also saves him is that he'll be in control of the restart.
Right, he'll have a jump. Now, that won't matter against the tires, but the tires are going to take a minute to get up to it, right? And Johnny and Scott Crump both have pretty fresh tires compared to the guys who pitted behind them. And You know, Trey Holmes has 2, Wadsworth has 2, Frankenfield has 2.
Scott Crump going to be issued a tallies there.
Into the rear of the 31.
And I think that's deserved, but you know, I don't think there's anything. It's just a closing rate issue with the tires there.
Yeah.
And I'm frankly surprised that it took us that long to have an incident like that.
He got a lot looser after you hit him in the rear end, Crump.
No, he was loose before I got to him.
Let's re-rack, sort out the top 5 since it's changed up since the caution came out. Ethan Burrell, no tires. No tires since his last green flag pit stop. Johnny Thomas has not pitted in about 10 laps. You know, maybe 15 laps. He's got some decently fresh rubber on the 91. Scott Crump's got about the same rubber on the 90. Trey Holmes has 2 tires. Tate Lytle has 4. Justin Wadsworth has 2. Tyler Fode has 4. Cutlip has 4. Hogan and Tucker both have 4. Then I believe Frankenfield has 2.
This is gonna be a wild finish.
I am still a little bit surprised that the Chad and Wright didn't stay out. Just trying to see if they could just end up in front of the chaos. That would have been my suggestion. You're not gonna win it by going down and doing what everyone else is doing. That's for sure. And hey, you might get wrecked, but you weren't gonna get in anyway. In a format like this, you gotta go for it. So Ethan Burrell's going for it, but he doesn't have anything to lose.
And a lot of history to be made here. He's gonna start on the outside.
Yeah, and just looking back, right, I think Jonathan Cutlip might have the better advantage of anyone who's on 4 tires. He does have 2 guys on 2 tires in front of him, and then he has the outside lane. You know, he can pin down Tyler Fode or Tate Lytle if he needs to. So, I like Cutlip here if the tires matter enough over 3 laps in order to make up that difference.
I like Lytle.
Right, and the issue for Tate, he's on the bottom. If he can find a way up to the top, he'll be all right. But to me, I think you got to be on that top lane.
3 to go here. Will we see the yellow or the checkers?
I'm betting yellow. Here we go. Johnny Thomas did not get a good push. Trey Holmes is going to give Ethan a good push.
Look at David Tucker already.
Tate's underneath. Crump almost wrecked it. Trey to the outside. Oh, they're wrecking. They're wrecking big.
David Tucker into the outside wall.
Thomas. How is that not a caution? Crump's to 3rd, and he's the one who needs
Now
to
we
win,
had a
and
caution.
he's going to get the caution.
How? Oh my goodness. Trey Holmes has got to be shaking.
The guy who made up the most ground on that restart, Chad Frankenfield. He went from 11th to 7th. Stanley came very close to having his season ended.
Tucker had been making some wild moves.
Yeah, it just gets out from under the 19 here, and we're gonna come down and I think clip off of Braxton. No, he just overcorrects it, and that's something that wasn't happening on that long green flag run, and then Dylan Thomas is gonna get him, and I think end up getting pinballed back to the outside wall there by Rucker. And I think Dylan's gonna come down and get somebody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say this didn't quite bring out the yellow flag.
No, there's more to this one. Josh Clark got wrecked. I think Vandermarl got wrecked. Rory Collins got wrecked. So let's see if we can figure out what happened there. And Clark's. Oh, there's Dylan getting.
Oh yeah.
He gets Fortner. He gets Vandermarl. He gets Clark.
Oh,
bunch of
Clark
guys. There goes Rory.
Had nowhere to go, and he hit everyone that was in front of him.
A bunch of guys who really ran clean races and did a good job to kind of stay out of the mess, fight for a top 20 in this one. And ultimately, they're going to go down
that
with
19 car.
Yeah, he was up there fighting for the lead for a lot of this one. And, he'll end up with a finish that doesn't reflect how well he ran. I mean, he was up in 3rd there on the late in that run.
How about Trey Holmes though, trying to get one that might go away, and he's in search for his very first elite victory.
Man,
You know, I've been out for a minute, but I would have thought Trey Holmes would have won a race by now. You know, he's got a good bit of speed. The thing that's going to wind up not working necessarily for him is that the guy behind him that on the restart, Scott Crump, has to win the race.
Yeah.
And if I know anything about Scott Crump, he will be going for it. So
maybe the 37 helps him out. I know those guys are friends.
the issue is they'll be restarting next to each other, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything either of them can do to prevent Scott Crump from maybe making some kind of bonsai move late in this run.
Yeah.
But you know, we look back. You know, there's another championship guy, Ethan Stanley. Yeah, 13th's pretty far down, right? If Crump can finish up here and Stanley gets caught up in something, that might be enough to kick him out of the top four. Again, presuming Matthew Weeks doesn't start in the championship race. Chris Wright, back in 16th, had such a strong car at the beginning of the race, but it has not gone his way. The big one I'm curious about now is Chad Frankenfield. We know Chad Frankenfield will be aggressive here. There's no secrets to that one. And he was aggressive in getting up to 7th on that last restart, right? And we've got, I believe, 3 of these potential green-white checkers. So if Chad makes up 4 spots each time, he'll get up he'll get up there and contend for this win.
Hopefully, we won't have to use any of those 3.
I was hoping to not have to use any of them there. But unfortunately, you know, we're going to get the restart finish to this one, and Trey Holmes has taken the outside. That does help Johnny Thomas, because remember that Trey was restarted last time, where Johnny restarting this time. And then Cutlip is the first car with 4 tires there. He will restart just behind Johnny Thomas, and then Tyler Fode's restarting just behind Cutlip. So the 40 and the 5 are in the driver's seat if those tires matter, but I just don't know if they do, man. The cycle has cooled them down. You only got to go 2 laps.
How real is that, though, for iRacing?
Yeah. If you cool the tires down, they feel like brand new for a couple of laps, and you know, it's just about that confidence to be able to drive the car. And you know, I don't know if it'll work out for Ethan Burrell, right? His tires are a lot older than Johnny Thomas's or Scott Crump's, and you know, Trey Holmes does have the new right rear tire that he can lean on. So we'll see.
All right. Uh-oh.
We lost
I'll make it clear
Dave.
if Jordan doesn't get you the green.
A little
Uh-oh.
bit. Green flag's out. Trey Holmes got a huge jump on Ethan. Johnny's going to go to the top of the racetrack. Cutlip's going to be the one, I think, coming off a 2
There
with
we
a
go.
big run. Chad got in front of Fody. Oh, but Chad wrecked it.
Chad is around on the backstretch.
Johnny Thomas cleared a second. It's Cutlip who's going to be the one.
We're
I think
still under green.
can go after Holmes the best, but Crump's up to 2nd. Crump's got to make up a lot of ground here on this last lap.
Yeah. And contact with Johnny Thomas isn't going to help him. Trey Holmes 1 lap away from his very first junior victory.
Trey Holmes is going to drive this one off into the sunset, I think. Scott Crump's going to come up 1 spot short. He's really going to have to bury it down in here and get a big run off. I don't think it's going to matter. Trey Holmes is sailing away.
Trey Holmes out of turn number 4, looking for his very first win. It's gonna come at Homestead. That 88 car is gonna do it. Trey Holmes wins the Miami 200.
In the top 10 will be Jonathan Cutlip, Tyler Fody, and Ethan Stanley. So the championship race is set, and what a drive.
Yeah.
Ethan Burrell falls to 17th.
I am so curious about that call to take right side tires.
That's an awesome call, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he was in the top 10 all day, but right at the back end of the top 10, obviously. And He did a really, really fine job on that first restart, making the move for the win. And he's going to get to celebrate and getting a lot of congrats. And has already gotten shunted into the fence here.
This is cool. There are so many people, myself included, that are Trey Holmes fans, and we knew it was coming, but like you said, you would never have thought that Trey Holmes had never won a race.
Yeah, I mean, I could have sworn he would have gotten one already, right? I mean, the way this kind of played out is pretty typical of these elite races. You get that long green flag run in the middle of the race. Trey Holmes enters the top 10, and then caution late. Surely at some point, he would have wound up a winner out of all the chaos, and this one was no different.
See our top 3 finishers, and let's see if we can bring in John, who finished 3rd. Mr. Cutlip, man, I know you've got to be excited to see your teammates score their very first win. Both of you guys are first-time winners. How does that feel this season?
Dude, I can't even put into words how excited I am to see him get the win. That was nuts. We all went ballistic in the Discord channel, just watching that happen. I couldn't be happier for Trey.
I am so excited. Walk us through coming to 3rd place here tonight.
Well, we were probably about to slide into about 3rd or 4th before the caution came out, which was unfortunate because Fody and I pretty much just had to race each other at that point, but unfortunately the caution just came out at a bad time and it sent things into a couple of green-white checkers, which you never really know which end you're going to kind of come out at, but luckily, luckily, go ahead.
You were able to bring it home, and I think this puts you in the championship for 2nd year in a row, bud.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing so far. We're good on points. Honestly, I'm just lucky that I got the top side on both restarts. That was huge, just being able to carry momentum down the backstretch from up top. But dude, Trey Holmes, I'm just so ecstatic for him, dude. Like that is probably like one of the biggest moments for me in this league. Just to see him get that win.
I'm excited to talk to him. I can't wait. Want to give you the time to shout out anyone and anything you'd like.
My teammates, my team owner Trey, Garrison. Garrison was crew chiefing me the entire night. I couldn't have gotten this far without him and his, help. It's been nice having him and Trey as a teammate. Wyatt, Hatchie, Casey Hatch. It's always fun racing with them. Just fun Wednesday nights. I'm not even sure what the championship 4 is. I'm thinking
It'll be you. Well, it'll be you, Fody, Stanley, and Ethan.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be a fun championship 4 after the refresh as well.
Yes. And where's the championship 4 race?
We're going to Charlotte.
Are you excited about your chances there?
I'm trying to keep an open mind. It's going to be right after a huge iRacing update, so you're not really sure which side that's going to play into, but hopefully it's still a good track for us. It produces good racing beforehand, so hopefully it's even better now, but it's going to be a tough 4. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone enjoys the show coming up.
I can't wait to see you, man. Jonathan Cutlip, 3rd place finish tonight in the Miami 200. Oh wow.
I think I might have been muted, so nobody heard me say that. But Matthew Weeks would not have made the Final Four. So being on a cruise didn't cost him. It just cost him knowing that he would have been in the championship. All right, now bring Crump in.
All right, Scott Crumpets, Alex up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Man, you came up just a little bit short. What did you need to try and get around that 88?
Start up in the top lane. Definitely what I needed. If I started up in the top lane, I think I could have got him.
Are you excited though for him for his very first win?
Oh yeah, I'm pumped. He got his first win. It's without that suspension, I'm in easily. So
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of sucks, but been kind of leading the points like all year, and then that whole Isma situation happened or whatever. So
Yeah. Well, what do you say? Think that this does for you in the future?
I don't know. Kind of disappointing. Definitely think I've been top 4 all year. Uh, should be going to that final, racing for that championship, but we'll miss out on this one. But I actually won the Xfinity race, so I'm in the finals there. Didn't think I was going to be. I haven't been top 5 in that series, but I happened to win that one race to get me in there. So yeah, so I guess I'll look forward to hopefully just finishing 5th place in points, bringing home 5th, maximize what I can. Look forward to the next season.
All right. Well, want to give you the time to shout out anyone and anything you'd like as
Yeah.
tonight's runner-up.
Get a shout out to y'all up in the broadcast booth. Go back and rewatch it. Get a shout out to my team, Lake Norman Motorsports. I think Fody got in. I'm not sure if Stanley got in or not. It's very close. I'm not sure if he did. Hopefully.
He did.
Oh, he did. Nice. So
Yep.
we got two of us in there. I think we got 3 in Xfinity. So that's pretty awesome. Get a shout out to my sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Get a shout out to grandfather watching, whoever else is watching. Get a shout out for Trey winning the race. And too bad we just couldn't bring it home tonight. Just made error on pit road, missed my pit spots. That put me behind early on, and now I had to try some strategy and hope for cautions.
All right, man. A lot to hold your head high though this season. Scott Crump, runner-up in the Miami 200.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's see if we can bring in our race winner here. Oh my goodness, is that Trey Holmes?
Hi, Alex.
Trey, first of all, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Been a long time coming, to be honest.
How do you feel knowing that your name is now associated as a winner in the joint AVS.com series?
Words can't describe, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, Alex. I was so close to not coming back next year because of the bad luck I've had.
Oh.
But I have one person to thank. I'm gonna thank Justin Vandermeer for convincing me to come back, and we're ready to go. I'm looking forward to next season.
Well, I am happy. I've been looking forward to asking you this for a lot, but what else would you like to say as the winner of tonight?
I just want to thank
Miami 200.
My team, Fueled Up, all my teammates, my sponsors, and all my friends that support me to make me keep going to do this. They're the only reason I'm doing this, to be honest with you.
I will say, Trey, I got a question for you. If you watch the broadcast back, we'll note at about 10 laps to go, I go, what? Trey Holmes hasn't won a race? What?
Yep.
I want to ask, how was it there? What going through your mind on the 2-tire call to kind of give yourself the chance at that win, and then take me through the pass on Ethan Burrell on that last lap?
Well, I knew Ethan was on very old tires, and when he took the top, I knew I had a really good chance to, just get a good restart and then see what happens. And then he took the bottom, and I just had just enough grip to get to his outside and pretty much hold on from there. That last restart, him not having the greatest, slowing up that bottom line really helped at the end.
Well, go ahead there,
I was going
David.
to say, and back on the pit stop. I mean, what was it that made you want to go with 2 tires, just to try to go for the win?
Well, when official was at Homestead, I did the exact same thing in the exact same position with only, 3 or 4 laps to go, and it worked. So I said, you know what? I got nothing else to lose. Let's go and take a risk. If I wreck, I wreck, but the risk paid off.
Yeah, it does. Also, I gotta ask you this, Trey. Do you know what this Friday is?
Oh, go ahead and remind me, Alex. Go ahead and remind me.
Yeah, it's the first of the month.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking forward to hearing that from you.
All right, well, congratulations. I'm happy for you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Alex. Thanks everyone else.
All right, Trey Holmes, winner of tonight's Miami 200. Guys, I think we saw an excellent race here tonight. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good race there, right up until I think that late race caution. But
Yeah.
Props to Trey Holmes for capitalizing on it, right, and making the big move for 2 tires. I think that's the key to winning these, especially when it comes down to that, is making that aggressive move. And obviously, like he said, he didn't have anything to lose, and you love to see that. And congrats to our final 4: Ethan Burrell, Jonathan Cutlip, Ethan Stanley, and Tyler Fode. I'll be keeping an eye on it next week, see if one of those guys can see which one of those guys takes it home.
Yes, I can't believe it's already that time. So Charlotte at 8:30 next Eastern Standard Time. Next Wednesday, join us as we crown a champion. But from all of us here at joinabs.com, the series, the Elite Racing Network, so long, and we'll see you guys then.